So they start coming to my garage, and then I got, remain steadfast. The Lord blessed me to get a gym. So we here now.
So tell me, what's the difference between this gym and other gyms out there?
Well, I would say that when you come here, I'm gonna teach you the sweet science. I teach everybody how to box. I don't just come in here for fitness boxing. I don't come in because I don't disrespect the sport. I train everybody to know how to do everything by the numbers. And I train them an old school way of boxing. So that's why you have a lot of boxers. Old school boxers, if you look at them compared to boxers nowadays, are more technically sound than boxers of today, because they come with new ways of training. But I stick to the old school basics. Now, don't get me wrong, I still stay abreast of what's going on new, and I still try to stay up with new things, but I still have the old school basics that I always refer to. So that's why I can teach anybody who comes in here. I teach them all how to buy the numbers, and they got to put in that work. And even if it's coming here just to hit the bag, now you come in here to work like a real fighter.
All right, for the listeners out there, give us the hours that you're open.
Okay, we're open in the mornings from 5 a.m. to about 6:30. Then we come back at 11 o'clock to about 1:30. Then I'll come back from 4:30 until I close, until everybody's finished.
And you train amateurs and pros in this gym?
I train amateur fighters, amateur boxers. I train professional boxers. I train MMA boxers. And I train people like Cap Silver, who just want to come in here and get a good boxing workout.
Now, how does that work for you, Cap Silver?
Well, I've actually been with Coach for the past a little over a year, my son and I. In fact, my son's very passionate about it. He'll be 10 in a couple weeks, and he wants to fight in January. So actually I came here for my son initially, and now I'm really working towards improving my PT score and doing really well and trying to get back, get on top of that.
So you feel a whole difference in being in this environment? You feel like you're getting better?
Yes, I do, and I also appreciate the fact that it is fitness training, but the basics of boxing. I really appreciate the fact that he does teach me the techniques, so that way I'm doing it correctly. I really appreciate that.
The funny part is, she was standing here the other day and she asked me, she said, when you gonna do Inside the Ropes again? And the producer, Mr. Zeb Folks, just happened to be in the gym, working out. I said, ask him. And then he said, you know what? You're going to be on the next show. I'm doing it Sunday. So she sort of put him on the spot. So he didn't have,
So now you're a celebrity with us. All right, so tell me, how long has the gym been open now?
Actually, we opened up November 1st, first day really, but actually it was open like 2 days, probably September, November, October 30th we actually opened up, but November 1st is when we actually started. So we've been going strong for about a month now. Everybody's been in here grinding. Didn't take no, we moved from the last gym I was at to my garage to right here, and we just kept the train rolling,
And for the listeners out there, what's the youngest age?
Well, actually, I have a 4-year-old in here. It depends on the child. Some 4-year-olds have attention span longer than a 7-year-old, and then some 7-year-olds don't even have a long attention span. But my youngest student is 4, so that's why I call this a boxing academy. I don't call it a fitness gym. We learn how to box for real, So.
Okay, so give us examples of some of the things they do in here in this gym, this facility.
Well, most of the time, when people come in here, the first thing we're going to do, we got to get you in shape. Because if you don't get somebody in shape to box, you fooling them. So we come in here, we probably start off jumping rope and do a whole bunch of calisthenics, different types of calisthenics. Once we finish the calisthenics, we're going to the boxing application. That's where I get with them one-on-one or one of my coaches, and I actually go over the technical aspect of boxing along with the condition of boxing, whether i.e. on the heavy bag, the hand mitts, the double end bag, or anything pertaining to getting a person's boxing skill set at a higher level than it already is.
Okay. And I see you got us draped nice in these new
outfits. Robinson Neal Boxing Academy shirt. What's down showing the back. Robinson Neal Boxing Academy, nice sweatsuits. We got we try to when I take the team out, we want to feel like a team. So if you look good, you fight good. You fight good, they pay good. You know, so.
Now are these outfits going to be on the market for the people in the gym?
Correct. They're actually, we got a new. The first time we ordered them, it was like a hit and miss thing. We ordered 20 shirts and we ordered like 10 sweatsuits. Then it was such a high demand for them. We got another order in that should be in next week.
Right.
So next week we'll have them out so you can purchase them. And all the funds just go back to help the amateur team out when we go traveling, or when we go to a fight, they got to eat, so I got to feed them. So,
right. Speaking of that, tell them some of the places that they travel at.
We go to North Carolina, Georgia. I took 2 fighters to the World Championships up in Missouri, Independence, Missouri. We go to the Golden Gloves and Southern Golden Gloves in Tennessee. We go to the Georgia games, wherever I can take them. And then starting next year in January, we're going to start going to ups like New York, Baltimore, Florida. I'm going to start taking them up there to get, so their skill level, so they have to fight or compete against better competition.
Right, okay. And I noticed coming to this gym, I've been bringing my daughter here for the last probably month. They come in wanting to train, like she said, eventually they end up wanting to fight.
Right.
How do you think that gets in their mind to want to do that?
Well, a lot of times when I would say normal people come in here, people with common sense, they are training around boxers and fighters. So while they're training around boxers and fighters, they pick up that bug,
Right.
And a lot of times they pick that bug up. And like your daughter, for example, she said, I want to do it, but I thought they were fighting 12 rounds. They only had 3 rounds. I want to do it.
Right.
So she's been working real hard, and she has progressed a whole lot.
Right.
So actually, this week we should have the ring set up. Just got the cameras last night, got the ropes, and they're gonna come in. And once we get the ring set up, we'll have them start off with light sparring and let her really get acclimated to boxing.
Okay, let's change the subject. What you got to say about some fights that's been going on lately?
As far as professional or amateur?
Professional.
Well, you had the Peter Quillen,
Right.
Daniel Jacobs fight last night.
What's your take on that?
I think it was a good stoppage. It's a first round stoppage. The guy get to come back and compete another day. Because at the end of the day, it's all about the fighter's safety.
Right.
The ref could have let him go on. The inevitable still was going to happen. He still was going to get knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
But no need to let him get beat up. Stop it. He get a regroup, come back and get a rematch.
Right. And I heard that you was at the MMA fight the other night. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was great.
So tell me what you experienced in there.
Well, it was a good experience to see and witness the technical aspect of it, and to see how you can incorporate boxing with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and all those other technical pieces.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool. It was entertaining for me.
Entertaining?
Mm-hmm.
Was it a nice crowd up there?
Yeah, it was a good crowd.
How did your fighter do out there, Dominic?
Jordan Weeks, actually, the beginning of the fight, he did pretty good. And then he had him in a guillotine choke. And the guy got out of the guillotine choke and caught him with a couple quick uppercuts before he could even respond. And that stunned him and dazed him. So he got caught with a good shot. But that's combat sports, so anything liable to happen. So I still take my hat off to him because he was a warrior. But I work with, I'm starting to work with more MMA fighters,
Right.
As far as the stand-up game. And actually last night he didn't go to the stand-up because they clinched immediately, so he really didn't get a chance to show his overall hand skills. But I'm working with a lot of MMA fighters. Come out, I teach you the hand game, and it is what it is.
And speaking of that, what do you got to say about the Ronda Rousey?
Well, here's the thing. Ronda Rousey had 11 fights.
Mm-hmm.
Holly Holmes had 38 professional fights, right? So Holly Holmes got 38 professional fights, and she got a lot of rounds in there now in those fights. So Holly Holmes has, let's just say she had 38 fights. She got 38 rounds of experience. Ronda Rousey only had 11 fights, and most of them didn't even go 1 round.
Right.
So Holly Holmes is a 10-time world champion, something like that, and she's been boxing for 10 years, amateur and pro. That's hard to beat. All she did was get her frustrated, did a lot of boxing, straight lefts, jab, straight left, circle drilled on her every time, and slipped. She swam and didn't get wet. She hit and didn't get hit. Just basic boxing. But Ronda came in with the wrong game plan. You're gonna come in a fight and try to outbox a boxer, then you disrespecting the boxer.
Right.
But you saw what happened.
Right.
You know, even though the fight ended with the kick, the fight was set up. The knockout was set up with the boxing.
Right.
So,
matter of fact, speaking of techniques, explain. You got a technique that boxers don't or trainers don't really teach anymore. Caught the parry.
Right now?
Right now.
I need music.
there you go.
That I can do. And this right here is my husband.
If you look at old school boxing, like Joe Louis, Ray Robinson, Willie Pep, it's a skill called parrying. It's a little thing called parrying or defense. Where this guy jabbed at you, you parry the punch or redirect the punch with your right hand. So you're parrying the jab. Off that parry, you can counter, you can hook, you can do a lot of things off the parry. But a lot of coaches don't teach it. They just teach all you try to get in. But if you watch a lot of old school tapes, which I try to study a lot of old school fighters and see what made them successful, they either parry or they parry or catch jabs. And they catch them, like if you have a baseball glove, you turn your hand out, boom, you catch it. You can control a lot by just a basic parry or a basic catch, you know.
Okay, so give us some of the up and coming events that's going on with the amateurs in this tournament right here.
I think, I heard through the grapevine they might have a amateur show and a main event fitness on the 19th. I'm not sure, but I know for a fact that in January they're going to have a lot of bouts around the state that we're going to compete in. I try to take my amateurs to every boxing show that they have.
Right.
So by me taking them to every boxing show, they just get more experience, you know, and more experience, and they get that ring time. You know, like amateur boxing is a sport. Mm-hmm. Professional boxing is a business. So by amateur boxing, I got to make sure they're prepared for the next level.
Right. Now the $1 million question. When is our man, Mr. Neil DeAndre the Matrix, going to be back in the business?
Well, okay. I think they were looking for somebody for Ishe Smith to fight. We told them we take the fight, but you know, that never happened. Then we told them we take the Victor Ortiz fight. That never happened. So what's going to happen next year? We're going to go out looking. We're going to start calling people out. You know, we've been humble about it, but we're going to start calling people out. And you know, we're not signed with no big promoter. We're not signed with no, you know, big advisor or big time advisor like Al Heyman. But we can fight. And it takes a lot to, you know, it comes with the territory. Like a lot of times people don't want to take a chance with you, but in the end they're gonna be like, dang, I wish I would have messed with them earlier. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So in the closing, I just want to thank a few people who made the new gem a success. Mandy Anderson, promoter Zeb.